Hello there, it's 9:10, excuse me a second, 9:10 on July the 29th, and I'm quite happily sitting here in my own little musical world, safe from vloggers, bloggers, jugglers, loonies and nitwits. And I got tagged, didn't I? Which is fine, because it was a good friend who did it, very nice lady called XXBiBiX or XXBiBiX, and she asked permission first, and it was all absolutely fine. And it's kind of, you know, name 5 people, give 5 facts, pass it on, like a chain letter, but without the threat of the end of the world or death of pets or anything like that. And I sent it on to everybody, as you'll know, and asked for sort of volunteers, people who didn't mind. And then I thought I'd seen something not that long ago from LVE Films, and they were tagged, and they said, okay, well, you know, we'll do it in their own inimitable way. They said, okay, we'll do it, but we're not tagging anybody. It doesn't go any further than this. And I thought, well, that's actually pretty cool. So if you would like to consider yourself to be tagged, then by all means do. But I'm not tagging anyone. I'm just 5 facts, and I'll absorb any bad luck that might be going around. And let's look for 5 kind of musical facts from, I guess, 49, 50, right through to 1970, 71. My mother was a housekeeper in a kind of rooming house in Old Brompton Road in London, halfway between South Kensington and Earl's Court, and various people. Some people stayed quite a long time, and other people sort of passed through and what have you. And in 67 or 8, I would have been 13, 14, I found in the dustbin a student had thrown, he'd obviously done a serious Townsend job on his Spanish guitar, in the dustbin, no back. It had a tailpiece, so the strings were still attached, but it had no bridge, the buttons were all gone, you had to tune it with pliers. It had a couple, I think, of wound strings, one of which the winding was coming off. But I thought this was just great. Dug the back out, stuck it back on, put a piece of wood in, because I knew it had to have a bridge, I didn't know why, and the strings were like that far away from the neck. I had a Saturday job at that time, and there was a guy who worked there called Peter Bergman, who was 19, and he was a bass player in a band, and he taught me to play Sunshine of Your Love on one string, and I've been doing that more or less ever since. So that was my first guitar, my first good guitar. In 69, I was having a terrible time at school. Not really anybody's fault but mine, but I just hated it. I wasn't an idiot by any means, but it's just, you know, I had sort of stirrings of rebellion, and I was bunking off a lot, you know, spending a lot of time when I should have been at school, not at school, which was not a very sensible idea, because got found out, of course, and Mother was mortified, and I was mortified and upset because I'd upset her, and all of that kind of thing, and a lot of people would have, you know, reached for the belt or the slipper or you know, the naughty step or whatever. And what she did, God bless her, she gave a month's notice at the post office. You had to give a month's notice to withdraw £100, and a month later, me and my friend Peter Began, actually a different Began, a different Peter, sorry, not Peter Bergman, me and my mate Peter, headed off up to the West End, found in a shop called Take 5 in Shaftesbury Avenue this, and this is what I came home with. It was on the wall at £100. Peter Bergman, the aforementioned bass player, had said, you've got to haggle, and make sure you get a case. So in my youthful, blissful ignorance, I said, no, best price you could do, and the guy kind of laughed and said, oh, we'll do it for 85 quid. what about a case? Got a horrible fiberboard case, really vile it was. So 69 I got this, and it's to this day is just the sweetest guitar. And I love it. I love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. The first band I was in, actually this is kind of a combination of first band, first gig. First band was put together by a guy who actually it's not first, is it? It's facts, but they're all facts. So first, facts, they all start with F. It's all good. It was put together by a guy who's still my best friend really to this day, a man called Dave Pash, and he was at Marylebone Grammer School with a guy called Stuart Goddard, and Dave played guitar and I played guitar, and Stuart played bass and sang, and we got a guy in called Adam who was sort of a bit of a jack of all trades and most definitely master of none, who kind of volunteered to drum. And we went and did it, and it was just a shambles. And I swear, if somebody that night had offered me £5 for all my gear, I would have taken it, and happy to do so. And that is a fact. Also, it was my first band. It was Stuart's first band, and Stuart Goddard went on to become Adam Ant. World domination for, well, world domination in the charts in Britain for a couple of years, 2-3 years. Big star. So that's kind of interesting. Maybe. Also, first fact. Around about that time, or maybe even slightly before then, I wrote my first song. And if you're very lucky, I'll never post it because it's a howler. Although I have a soft spot for it. It's one of those, and it's called Burke and Hare. Dig my corpse from the ground, off with the shroud and homeward bound. If business is good and all goes well, I'll be sold for £1, still whole and sound. Free from pain, no more strain, into the earth and out again. When they found out what pox I'd got, those students won't have carved in vain. Yeah, that's half of it. It's kind of funny. And just sort of tying in with that, Stuart, Adamant as he became, very much an artist. He had murals in his bedroom at home of kind of Mickey Mouse and cartoon characters, really good. And he went on to art college and did a lot of artwork, you know, involved with Adam and the Ants and what have you. And he did that little drawing for me of Burke and Hare. Can you see it? I hope you can. It's really quite good. It's a bit faded now, actually. A nice silhouette of Burke and Hare and the body in question. Anyway, you will have gathered I got a bit confused between presenting 5 firsts and 5 facts, but there's a kind of combination of firsts and facts, and it's all true anyway, so I guess that makes it fact. And as I say, if you feel inclined to consider yourself tagged, then hey, go for it. But I'm quite happy to absorb any chain lettery type bad luck that's going around, and we can happily end it here. Thank you very much for your forbearance, and I'll see you all soon.